Hey everybody, what's going on? I wanted to respond real quickly to this trend I saw really catching traction off of TikTok. And it's basically a whole bunch of different Black women who are going online and talking about how much happier they are since they stopped dating Black men. And see, this is exactly why I have been covering the divested disasters on my channel for years now, because I'm really tired of this propaganda that's going out today that continues to give Black women the freedom and the confidence to go around and act like straight raccoons. This is the definition of self-hating. This is a definition of self-hatred, and this is a definition of internalized racism, starting to call this stuff out for what it is. You want to talk about pick-me's? Black swirlers and Black women who spend all of their time pandering to white men and promoting white supremacy are some of the biggest pick-me's out there. They really are. Black women feel like it's a good idea to go online and spend all of their time berating, undermining, talking bad, disrespecting Black men, and then going online 5 minutes later talking about, oh, they don't protect us, oh, Black men are this, oh, their color is, feature is, texture is, oh, saying all this BS, continuing to isolate themselves from the men who are the most likely to date and deal with them. There is no other group of men in the face of this earth that is more liberal and accepting as Black men. Black men are okay dealing with Black women's attitudes. They're okay dealing with their weight. They're okay dealing with their trauma and their baggage. There is no other group of men, by and large, that is as accepting, as liberal as Black men. So why do Black women continue to go out of their way to undermine and to literally isolate themselves from the men who are the most likely to deal with them? The other thing about this whole trend to me that is so annoying is that I have yet to see a group of non-Black men go out of their way and put Black women on pedestals the way Black women consistently put white men on pedestals. It is totally and completely embarrassing. You got women going online pretty much putting themselves out there, putting themselves on blast, shooting their shot to Black men, saying, hit me up in the DMs, tag a white man if you're interested, slide in my DMs. And these women are still not married. They've been saying the same rhetoric for how many decades? For how many decades have white men had access to Black women? And the interracial relationships ain't budged that much. Black women still can't get married to white men. They still can't. For all this, oh, white men treat me better. Oh, as soon as I get with a white man, as soon as I get with a non-Black man, they worship me, they bow down to me, they treat me like queens and goddesses. For all this stuff. And last I checked, less than 1% of white men in America who are married have a Black wife. Some of the more generous estimates say maybe between 3 to 5%, but by and large, y'all done had how many decades now to get your white king, and they still don't want to marry you. This is what gets on my nerves. Nobody really cares about interracial relationships like that. This wouldn't be a problem at all if y'all was just living your life, having honest love, having honest conversations, and keeping it at that. The problem I got is the fact that a lot of these ladies go online, literally promote white supremacy in blackface, say the dumbest stuff, say things that aren't really real, and then some of these ladies end up actually getting hurt, because how many Black women are getting so caught up in this dumb propaganda, thinking that they get them a little white man, they get them a little white boy, and they're going to be treated like queens and goddesses, and end up unalived. Or just get ran through, and then have to have a come to Jesus moment, have to be reformed, or have to do the, sort of the pro-Black thing when they're like in their mid 30s or 40s, right? And then figure out that it was all a lie. And I'm just saying, like, let's just call it for what it is. Let's just be really clear that women who are saying this stuff are straight raccooning. This is the definition of raccooning. We're very comfortable talking about Black men who are self-hating. These are Black women who are actually expressing self-hatred. These are Black women who are promoting white supremacy. We can put whatever terms we want to. We can put all swirler, divest, expander options. We can try to make it as cute and trendy and as digestible as possible. But let's be very clear about what this is. These are Black women promoting white supremacy. These are Black women who do not like themselves. And yes, there are Black men who do horrible things. Yes, there are Black men who are not good in relationships. Yes, there are Black men who need God and therapy and help and all that kind of different stuff. I'm not out here saying that every Black man is perfect, but I'm certainly not going to sit here and put another group of men on the pedestal who have shown historically that they're not really into y'all like that. Yeah, there's going to be some of my boys who are going to be yeah, there are some interracial relationships out there that are doing their thing, that are healthy. I ain't got no shade for them. But let's not sit here and act like we live in a post-racist society where there still aren't people who have very racialized views about their women, about Black people, about just Blackness in general, or just about even race mixing. Like, let's just not be ignorant and act brand new here. Let's not do that. Okay. So this stuff is dangerous. And also in the era of Trump, y'all really sitting up here saying this. Just 2 seconds ago, y'all was all big mad and crying and talking about how, you was going to sit out because y'all were big mad that Trump won. Y'all was mad at white women because a lot of white Americans voted for Trump. Y'all were so mad about that. So y'all had all the smoke for white women, but ain't got nothing to say about her brother or her dad or her cousin because you want to be with him. So even a lot of that stuff was fake outrage. The whole fake outrage over Kamala Harris, the whole fake outrage over Trump winning, that was fake. Because just all it took was a few minutes later and y'all still out here doing the same thing, trying to pander to men who actually really don't want you. And I hate to be that grotesque, but it's true. A lot of them don't, because if they did, the marriage stats would be a lot different. Okay, so again, let me just call this for what it is. Unfortunately, this is so patriot. And because this kind of behavior has gone on for quite some time unaddressed, a lot of ladies feel emboldened and confident to do it. And it's like, can we just be very clear in what's going on? You can say all you want. You have the right to like and say everything that you want to like and say. But let's just be really clear about what's going on here. This is not empowerment. This is not Black women going where they're loved. This is self-hatred and white supremacy in blackface. And I think if we can be very clear about what it is, then we can actually be very clear about what's actually going on here. This is also dangerous, and it also puts a damper on those who actually are in loving interracial relationships, because that can happen. Just unfortunately, the rhetoric online with respect to it is so toxic and just so rancid that it's really hard to make the difference. And honestly, at this point, it really comes down to those who are in interracial relationships speaking up to try to make a distinguishment, because at this point, you're going to have more people who don't rock with this, just putting every Black woman or every Black man who's in the interracial relationship, just putting them all in a category of self-hating because this kind of rhetoric goes on unchecked. So I'm just saying, love who you love, but can we stop promoting white supremacy, Black ladies? Can we stop? Like, can y'all stop? Can you just be honest about what's going on here and look in the mirror and say, why are you so comfortable promoting self-hatred? Because best believe if what you said was put in the mouth of a white person, that would be a problem. And can we also recognize that, yeah, Black people do come from many come from traumatized states. And so water seeks its own level, and sometimes ladies find themselves attracted to particular kind of men or particular kind of broken men also because of their own unhealed trauma. And I just think there's so much danger in isolating ourselves from the men who are the most likely to marry us, and also there's a lot of danger from isolating ourselves from leadership. What's going on is you have women who are ultimately isolating themselves from the God-ordained leaders in their life, which, by the way, are Black men, whether it be their fathers, their uncles, spiritual leaders, pastors, or anybody who they might be connected with. Ultimately, like, when you don't have strong, healthy Black male leadership, this is the byproduct. And the more this kind of behavior is internalized and it's promoted, the more Black women are farther and farther away from their natural habitat, which is, by the way, in a healthy relationship with Black men who can provide leadership, counsel, and protection. Anyway, y'all, that's what I got in this whole topic. What y'all think? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.